Good morning. Good morning, all of you. This is your very first English 1 class of class 5. On the very first day of it, I want to tell you some sort of introductory things that you should know. English 2 up to class 4 or up to your previous classes, as you have read, that was quite different from now onwards how you will be reading it. Why? Because this time you need to understand the text properly, and as you can see, the length of the text a little bit means more than that whatever you had in class 4. So this gradually it will be bigger, gradually it will be increasing. The thing is that you have to go through the each and every chapter, whatever chapters I will be teaching you, whatever chapters are there, you have to go through it very minutely, very properly, so that you can answer whatever question is quoted from anywhere of the text. There should not be any problem. Okay, so this is what that is the first thing that I wanted to tell you. The second one is that your question pattern, the question pattern, it can be, it is little bit flexible. It can be set in such a way like MCQ questions will be given. You have to choose the correct options from there. But and also your fill in the blanks, who said to whom. These are some examples. It's not like that mandatorily these will be coming, but you remember that these sort of questions will be coming. Your true false questions, fill in the blanks. In that, when you are attempting this fill in the blanks question or true false question, you can be asked that you have to give a supporting statement for that. So if all these things are there, then you have to go through your text very sincerely, so that from anywhere the line can be quoted, there shouldn't be any problem, because it's not mandatorily that your questions will be set from your exercise which is there in your book. It's not like that. So questions can be the inside questions which is there in your text. The very first thing is that you have to understand each and every aspect of the text which are there in your syllabus. Okay, now we are going to start with a very interesting chapter written by a very this is a very interesting story, or you can say very interesting sort of writing, which is written by a very famous writer whose name you are associated with his name, you are very much acquainted with his name from the very childhood of yours, from the very early days of your childhood. So he is none other than our Ruskin Bond. Ruskin Bond, we are going to now which chapter? The name of the chapter is The Owls in the Family. This is the chapter, The Owls in the Family, and this has been written by this great man whose name is Ruskin Bond. So you know him. He is an Indian writer, and he is famous for his children's stories, for his children's literature. He is regarded as one of the best writers of children's literature. So Ruskin Bond was born in the year of 1934. He is an Indian author. He lives now also. He is there. He lives in Mussoorie, in Dehradun. Okay, and he's famous for his children's literature. His stories are there. If you read, you will find that the stories of that grandfather and that little boy stories, the ghost in the baranda. So he's all these typical stories are there, where you will find that the background is very much Indian background. In his writing, we find always the peculiar pets like python, monkey, the white elephant, owls. This in this story we will be finding that owls are there. This way, his stories are very interesting stories, and almost everyone loves his stories. This is what we will be, and also you should know that he is a writer who was awarded with Padma Shri and also Padma Bhushan. Some of the famous writings of him, I think you have read. So Ruskin Bond. He has written these books. The Ghost in the Baranda. This one is a very famous story of him. Our trees still grow in there. This is the book for which he was awarded with all those prizes, all these awards. And The Adventures of Rusty. This is another very great book of him. So and this when it comes about peculiar pets, Ruskin Bond is the one who has written about. In his story we find that the peculiar pets are there, very means peculiar pets like the python, monkey. So you will find one story which is a grandfather and the python, then the monkey stories whose name is Tutu, and the white elephant. That white elephant came from the forest and it was captured by a king. Then that white elephant's mother, who is a blind elephant, that the white elephant used to bring food for him. So he was cheated by a traveler. The traveler lost his way, and he approached the white elephant to take him out of the forest, and he actually cheated the white elephant, and he handed it over to the king's to the king, and the king captured it, and the king tried to keep it as a pet, but the white elephant was very much not very much kind of happy there. So he wanted to come back to his mother, who was a blind elephant. So this way that story continues. So all these stories are there. Grandfather and the python. Here we find there is Aunt Mabel. Aunt Mabel's name also comes in this story also, means our present story which we are going to read now. This one are the owls in the family. This is means all about our Ruskin Bond and his famous world of children's literature. So, in this story, basically, he will be telling us about another peculiar pet, which is none but the owlets. That means the young owls. Okay, and here a few owls name he has means few owls names are given in your book. So these are the species, different species of these owls. You can find great horned owl, you can find barnyard owl, you can find snowy owl, and you can also find spotted owl. Now this spotted owl is here means Ruskin Bond or the narrator. Here when the narrator is describing, we find the mention of this spotted owl. Now this way the story will continue, and before that let me show you some other species of owls. Though you needn't to these questions will not be coming from here. All these things, these are for your own means I'm showing you so that you can know about all these owls, and you can see these pictures and enjoy. So snowy owl, the bird owl, and here you can see the great horned owl, the screech owl. So all these owls are there. Here you can see the barn owls. These are the most famous owls. These means everywhere we can see these. And as you know, there is one superstition, no, in our home and everywhere it is said that whenever these are the owl is often regarded as an ominous means that owl is often regarded as an ominous kind of a bird. Means it is kind of said that it is a messenger of something bad will happen, something some sort of a misfortune will follow. So that is a kind of a superstition with these owls. And owls, they are means when we look at them, their gleams, and you can say their appearance, sometimes it's very much fiery. And because of that, no, often the other birds, they also consider that the owls are their enemies. So here the narrator will be telling us that thing also. Okay, so this is your chapter. We are going to start it. But before we start your chapter, let me tell you a few other things. That is what you are going to do every day after the completion of the lesson. When we complete our lesson, every day you will be getting one study material will be there. In that study material you can read whatever has been taught and whatever is there. I hope by the time most of you have purchased your book, But those who didn't purchase, you don't worry. For my subject, I'm uploading the scanned pages of the text so that you can download it and you can read it. So this will be uploaded there, so you can, if you have not purchased the book, you can download and read it from there. Now the thing is that when your one class is completed, there will be one response set. Now what is that response set? That response set is there where you will have to answer it, means as you have taken your exam in class 4, so the same way one Google form will be there in which you have to write the answer to the questions which are given there, and you can submit it there. That submit button will be there, so there only you can submit. Okay, so you don't get confused or anything. So every day you try to complete the work, and every day you try to submit it, because that time limit, though it will not be said, but on that particular day only you have to submit. The next day you will not find it. Okay, so this is what is there about your response set. And then when you do all these things, after this, when this class will get completed, your video class will be completed, and then after 20 minutes you will be getting your live class where you can ask me whatever doubts you are having, whatever queries you are having. Okay, so this is how we are going to do complete, we are going to complete our portion in this way. Now the thing is that when we read, as I said, when we read Ruskin Bond, we find the narrator is very much kind-hearted. The narrator is very much, you can say, very much loving and affectionate towards all the kind of pets that sometimes it automatically comes to their home, and sometimes grandfather brings it. Okay, and grandfather, grandmother, so means it's a very happy family that the narrator always talks about in his these kind of stories where he tells us about his peculiar pets. So this one story, the spotted owl, we will be finding here. So how he's, we are not going to do much of this chapter today, because this is, since this is your very first class, so only 2-3 paragraphs we will complete, and then we will stop it here today for today, and the next day we will complete the story. So first he has the in your book you will be finding these kind of owls are there, and you remember that the narrator is here. We are finding the mention of the spotted owl. So you will be seeing that these are the spotted owlets, very young owls, the newborn, you can say. So one morning we found a full-fledged, before that it's written, you see, let's read what happened when two baby owlets landed on the veranda stairs of the narrator's bungalow. Now what, one thing I was telling you earlier, that here again and again when you read Ruskin Bond stories, no, you can relate the circumstances, you can relate the atmosphere, you can relate the background that he is talking about. Always you will be finding the mention of the veranda, you will be finding the mention of a tamarind tree, the banyan tree, all these trees, and there will be some, in some stories there will be a ghostly atmosphere. So we can identify from all these things that these are written by our favorite Ruskin Bond. So one morning we found a full-fledged baby spotted owlet. So he is telling full-fledged means it's a completely it's a complete one. It's not like it means it has become a complete owlet. It's not like, though it's a very new, it's a newborn one, but it's a complete one. One morning, one fine morning, when he woke up from his bed, he saw that there was a spotted owlet on the ground by the veranda steps. So near this place, he found. When grandfather picked it up, it hissed. Hissing sound, as you know, is made by a snake. So in the same way, when grandfather picked it up, when grandfather picked up that small owlet, that little newborn owlet, so it hissed. That means it made this kind of a sound and clacked its bill. Now, bill, you know, bill is that the very front part of a bird's mouth, you can say. So that the strong one, that with that it makes the sound in your window pane or somewhere. So that is the bill. So it clack means it made that sound, a clacking sound. But after a meal of raw meat and water, it settled down for the day under my bed. So you can say here from these lines we can assume as if it was very much hungry, as if the small newborn owlet, it has got separated from its mother, and it has not got anything to eat for some time, and that is why it was kind of it was a bit hungry, and that is why when it was given some food, when it was given raw meat and water, it settled down for the day under the narrator's bed. Okay, so when you will be writing your answer, you write that under the narrator's bed. You don't write under Ruskin Bond's bed. You will be writing under the narrator's bed. So here we will be telling, will be when we will be saying whatever the narrator is saying, we'll be saying that the narrator. Okay, the spotted owlet, even when full grown, is only the size of a myna. Myna is a bird which all of you are acquainted with. You have seen it. It's a very famous pet of means we all are acquainted with that. So the narrator is now giving us the description of the small owlet and has none of the threatening appearance of the larger owls. Now, as I have already said you, that owl is often regarded as an ominous bird, and we say there is a superstitious belief that if an owl comes to your home and it sits beside a tree, it sits in a tree beside your home and it makes a sound. Often it was believed in earlier days then it's a messenger of something bad, that something ominous or something bad is going to happen to that household. So that is what kind of a hint you can get here, that and also it has a very fiery appearance, it has a very frightening appearance. When somebody will look at it, somebody will get afraid when it's a larger owl. But what the narrator is saying here, the narrator is saying here but that it has none of the threatening appearance of the larger owl. So that means it was still having a very innocent, very childish look in its eyes. A pair of them may often be found in an old mango or tamarind tree. I said you that you will be finding the mention of all these things here in Ruskin Bond's writing. So this is one, you can say, one typical characteristic of Ruskin Bond's writing, that you will be getting the mention of all these things. So there we can see that the narrator is now giving the description of its physical appearance, and also he is telling that where does it inhabit, where does it reside, where does it live. By tapping on the tree trunk, you may be able to persuade the bird, that means you may be able to approach the bird, or you may be able to make the bird agree to show an inquiring face at the entrance to its hole. So this is very important here. When you are tapping on the tree trunk, that means you are making a sound and you are approaching the bird to show, means you are, then what is happening, that when you are doing this, the bird is showing its face, and the face is how is this face? Inquiring. That means it is asking you, as if it is asking you, then what is the cause, why are you tapping here at the entrance to its hole. So at the entrance it will just peep through it, it will just show its face, and this face is very much inquiring. That means it's a questioning face, that what is the question, why are you disturbing my peace, why are you tapping here on the tree trunk. So this is what the narrator is trying to say here. Next, the bird is not normally afraid of man, nor is it strictly a night bird. So the narrator is again giving the description of its characteristic traits, that he is telling that this is not normally the bird is not normally afraid of a man. It doesn't get afraid when it sees a man. nor is it strictly a night bird. And often we say that it is a night bird, but it's not always a night bird, but it prefers to stay at home during the day. But it's a, I mean, you can't categorize an owl to be as means a particular, that it's fixed, that it's a fixedly it's a night bird. It's not like that. The narrator is denying this fact. The narrator is saying what, that it you we often we say that it's a night bird, but the thing is that the real thing is that it prefers to stay at home during the day, as it sometimes attacked by as it is sometimes attacked by the other birds who consider all the owls as their enemies. So this cause also he is making it very much clear that it is not a typical night bird, or you can't say that it's a fixed fact that an owl is a night bird. It's not like that. Rather, you can say that it prefers, it likes to stay home during the day, and during the night time it goes in hunting for its prey. So, and another cause is also there, that why does it hide itself in the daytime? Because in the daytime, some other birds are there who will be there. They consider, they think that these owls are their enemies, so they will attack the owls. That is why the owl prefers that it should stay home and during the day, and in the night time it will go out of it. Okay, so we will be completing the rest of the part in our next day. Today, since it is your very first class, so we shall be stopping it here. So you go through, if possible, you go through the whole chapter, so it will help you to understand the text. But up to here we will be stopping for today. Okay, so up to here. Okay, and whatever there will be, I will be giving you one response sheet, so you follow it properly, the response sheet, and you answer it. You mention your name and all these things which are needed, so that I can keep a record, for as you know, your assessment marks will be given on the basis of that. So you every day you try to do every day's work, and also you maintain your English to copy properly, because someday in your live class I can ask you to show it to me. So that time, means when one chapter will be completed, you do one thing, very fairly you write all the answers. When all the samples answers will be given, and whichever answers will be given as your homework, those questions also I will discuss in my class, in your video class. So you follow the video classes properly, and you follow whatever I have said. Okay, have a very good day.